So what is the number one thing that I find my clients are most afraid of? Being themselves. As crazy as that sounds, right? So hey there, my lovelies. This is Daniela Langford here, head soul rejuvenating catalyst of Redesign Your Life Forever. And today I want to share with you about this most primal fear, okay? And my top 3 ways to bust through those blocks to truly being your truest self. Because honestly, being your true self leads to the happiness, the joy, the confidence, the self-worth, all of these things that you feel like you're missing and that my clients come to me for help with every day. Okay, so number 1, let's talk about why we are afraid to be ourselves. Really drill down to its core. It's a need to be accepted. And as spiritually and mentally evolved as the human race is on this planet at this time, we are still so connected to our primal ancestors in the brain, where the fight or flight response is still emanating from. And because of that connection, we need to be accepted into the group to receive that protection, those resources, that love and attention, okay? This primal instinct to be accepted by the herd, so to speak, permeates every decision we make. And if you think about it, you can't help but realize that it's true. Every action we do or don't do, how we feel about ourselves, our self-worth in relation to everyone else, all of this is affected. And in our modern world, this is passed down still from parent or caregiver to child in the same way, over and over again. That in order to have love and safety and security, the child must conform itself to a set of standards that, though usually very well-meaning, yes, it's true, it's detrimental to expressing individuality, immersing oneself in new experiences, and despite failure, continuing experimentation. All of which are vital to finding out and being who you really truly are. And all of us fall into this early trap. Every single person. I know for years I feared even testing the boundaries of exploring who I am because of this simple implication of not having that love and security. It wasn't even necessarily true. It was just the threat of being thrown out of protection from the herd. Okay? And this is quite possibly the number 1 underlying reason why people seek help from others like myself who've been there where they have been, where they are, but have broken free of that conditioning. So when my clients come fully to terms with this basic concept, it then becomes so much easier to help them do away with it. When people finally realize that the only thing holding them back now is themselves, usually there's a period of disbelief and possibly anger, sometimes anger, but helping people move through those stages so they don't get stuck in the victimhood is also part of what I love to do. Courage is not being without fear, my loves. Courage is doing something even though you feel the fear. So that's what it means to be brave. So one of the bravest things you could possibly do in the face of the herd, the safety, the acceptance mentality, is to explore being yourself. It's the most radical thing you could do and the most liberating. So here are my 3 tips that I'm going to share with you on what you can do to break through this old mindset that is actually holding you back. Okay? Number 1 is you have got to realize and accept that this need for outside approval is just a mindset. And I know that sounds really simplistic, but most people are so brainwashed by the mindset itself that they won't even entertain the idea that that's all that it is, an idea, okay? In reality, you are self-policing yourself, keeping yourself contained in a cage for the benefit and pleasure of others, for their convenience, right? But you are no longer that little child, defenseless and dependent on adults to care for you. You are the adult now. And you are 100% capable of caring for and supporting yourself if you choose to believe it. Okay? Number 2 is huge. It's do something that stretches your current boundaries. Chances are that deep down, even if you haven't thought about it for a while, you could create a list of things that you would want to try or explore if you could, right? Now, I'm not talking about going in the direction of financial restrictions holding you hostage, okay? I'm talking about something creative or somewhere new you've wanted to go and explore or experience, even just in your own city. So write your list and get cracking. Tackle, I don't know, one thing a month or even one thing a week. You know, as Eleanor Roosevelt said, do one thing a day that scares you. This is key in finding and expressing who you really are and being comfortable with who you really are, okay? And that's where the freedom lies, right here. Number 3, being comfortable. Owning it. Own it. Sure, you're going to fall down a few times as you explore who you really are. Maybe you always wanted to try painting, but after pursuing it for some time, you find that you really aren't as entranced with it as you thought you might be. Own it. It's okay. You tried it. You gave it a fair shake and have decided it's not for you. And that's okay. And it's okay to be okay with that, right? There is no right or wrong when it comes to deciding what is right for you. Now, of course, harm to yourself or others notwithstanding. But again, just like with the self-care, there's no right or wrong for what is right for you. The trick is to own it. Okay, so if you like red wine and all your girlfriends like white, who cares? Own it. If you like 50s rockabilly clothing and your parents or your peers or whatever try to tell you it doesn't suit you, thank them, thank them for sharing their opinion. And just keep on trucking with your sexy self, okay? Own it. Own it. The value of being your truest self, I feel, speaks for itself. Just imagine, what if you didn't have to answer to anybody about your choices? What if you were free to explore your creativity, free of being affected by the judgment of other people? What if you could be who you really wanted to be? Pursue your passions, not the passions of someone else that's trying to live vicariously through you, which unfortunately is too often the case. What if you were free of the guilt and the shame and that inner mental prison that's been telling you who you ought to be? Explore that for yourself. What would your life be like? Allow yourself to daydream. This is the support and the no-nonsense advice that I give to my awesome clients every day. And believe me, they are awesome. It's my bread and butter, okay? Seeing you succeed where you thought there could only be failure. This is what I am here to do. And I have set aside time just for you to talk about these mindsets and impressions that are holding you prisoner in your past, okay? And if you're ready to finally change your life this year, right? It's coming time. We're well past the middle here. Finally make 2018 your year. Do you want to finally make 2018 the year that you decided to turn it all around? I am here for you. This is what it's all about, okay? So click the link in the description box to book your free clarity call with me to get to know one another, dive deep into these programmings of the mind, and get real world steps to implement and free yourself from them. And then if we decide we'd like to work together further, then we can discuss it. But I offer this half an hour of my time free to you and look forward to serving your highest self. Because think, what would you do if you were free? Own it, right? Phoenix love. I love you all. Daniela of Redesign Your Life Forever. ReDYLF. I see you so soon. I love you all so much. I know you can do it.